Everyone, this is Graphic Fluff or Trove Modeler, and today I have another smaller box review. So this is a box review of the Eduard's kind of old but still very good Focke-Wulf 190 F-8 in 1 in 48 scale. This model came out I think in 2008, but its molds have been used up until 2017 when they were replaced for the new early Antons. So let's get into it. The box is thankfully same as all other Eduard models with the top. So we are greeted with a bunch of boxes, not boxes but plastic wrappings with sprues, a Ziploc bag with footage parts, and various decals, and of course the instruction sheet. So let's take a look at the plastic parts first. So there are 9 sprues in total, including the transparent one, in 4 separate Ziploc bags. Yeah. So let's look at the small bits first, then the bigger ones, armament and clear parts. So these are the contents of the first bag. It has 3 sprues, and I have to say that the detailing is very nice indeed. I wasn't really expecting this much from quite an old kit, but you can see in 1/48 scale it's quite nice indeed. The detailing on the flaps, very nice as well. This model, as I can see from here, it has the full engine compartment and the machine gun bay. I haven't found any kind of flash on the sprues, which isn't really um, a normal thing when it comes to Eduard, because they are quite professional when it comes to their models. This is probably the most problematic of all sprues, because it contains all the smaller parts, such as the struts, various struts from the gear bay, for the antennas and whatnot. So yeah. Now let's look at the second bag. So these are the contents of the second bag. There aren't many of them, but they're quite big, and they include the fuselage parts, upper wings, and the other fuselage parts, and various parts for the cockpit, landing gear, and what else, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, the main thing I want to see here is the detailing on the fuselage. See, the fuselage is completely riveted. Even in 2008, Eduard still managed to do it pretty well. As far as I know, the riveting is completely historically accurate, so you don't need to modify it at all. Okay. Same as the ones on the wings, completely riveted as well. The rivets are slightly small, but I like them that way, to be honest. Other wings, you can see. The inside of the fuselage parts are empty because the cockpit goes here. The second sprue, it doesn't really have a lot of parts here, but they are probably the most important ones because they include all the cockpit detailing, which is very nice. You can see a lot of very small details, and the machine guns and the cowlings for the machine guns as well. The cowlings are riveted as well, because it would look kind of weird if they weren't. Yep. Another part for the cockpit and the control panel. Yep. And now let's move on to the last normal plastic sprue. Sorry, I meant bag. So, last plastic bag with the normal light green plastic contains all the extra armament that the F-8 has, and the underwing. So let's look at the most important part here, the underwing. Same as the upper wing, they are completely riveted and quite nice indeed to look at. I don't expect any problems with this model, but knowing Eduard, there are going to be some problems with the assembling of the engine compartment. The bombs and the various rockets, they are quite diverse indeed. We'll get to those a bit more in the part where we check out the tutorial and the instructions, but there are quite a lot of them, with small 50 kilogram bombs, smaller RB-14 rockets, and various other parts. Here's the holder for the 14 smaller rockets and 500 and 250 kilogram bombs. So yeah, let's check out the last plastic sprue. And the last plastic sprue is the clear sprue, and I am amazed as always with Eduard on this. The clear plastic is as perfect as it can get. They even offer a small clear part so you can show off your guns if you don't want them outside. There are absolutely no marks or scratches in the windshield, which is very nice indeed. You can tell that this is made with high quality plastic. So let's move on to the decals and the footage. So the decals and the footage come in a separate Ziploc bag. So to get open, just go here and like that. I bought this from a reseller, so this isn't the original packing for the decals. So yeah. And let's check them out. They are they are very shiny and quite, oh, lighting is going a bit weird, and are quite thin indeed, which is a good thing in my opinion. Oh, lighting again. They do include 3 different versions of the swastika, thankfully. One with the white rim, without one, and one which is a bit masked out and shot through. They also include the 2-part swastika if you're living in Germany or Austria. Since there are quite a few versions, you get them all. And of course, the white parts for the spinners. See? Quite focus. Yep, there. Quite nice indeed. But the real small details come from the stencils. There aren't many stencils, but they are very high quality. See, all the text can be read through even at this small size. So yeah, you also get a mask for the canopies and the gears. Since my camera doesn't really pick them up that well, you will have to believe me. And the footage parts, they come in 2 sprues, one for the main colored footage and one for the bombs and rockets. The bomb and rocket ones are quite standard. There really isn't much to complain here. They are far better than plastic parts, that I can tell. On the other side, you can see the colored footage. The quality here is amazing as always, knowing Eduard, and I was correct, 2008. So yeah. It's quite amazing what you can get for relatively small amounts of money from Eduard. So yeah, the last thing we have to do is check out the instructions. And here they are. So they are completely colored, you can see, though there isn't very much coloring going on in the assembling part. You have a brief history in English and Czech with the recommended color scheme that you can assemble. Oh, let me just zoom in right here. Okay, yeah, that's slightly better. Yeah, so here you can see all the parts that will be used along with the mask right here. So yeah, as I said, the colors that are needed for the model are stated right here. So if you want, you can pause and read them out for yourself. Focus, yep, there you go. So the assembling of the model is pretty straightforward. You start with the cockpit, then proceed to assemble the gun bay, and after finding out which version you want, so there are a lot of armaments here, you can assemble the underrings and everything else basically. As I said before, there are a lot of parts in this model, so it's going to take a while. Eduard has released a weakened version, but it's the same number of parts, so it isn't really a weakened version. The engine itself, as you can see right here, is really detailed, and I have to stress this very much. Read the instructions twice, cut the model's parts once. I made quite a lot of errors in my last Focus of 190 by assembling wrong parts or gluing them in the wrong place. That is especially true right here. So you should really check out where to actually glue the parts in. So yeah. See. Yeah. And here come on to the armament. As said before, a lot of armament options, which I very much like, since this is a Grand Attack version. So here are all the options that you can use. I haven't actually decided what I'm going to use, but I will probably use the 500 kilogram bombs and the 250 on the sides. So yeah. And after looking at the mask, we come on to the various camouflages. This is the camouflage on the box art. It is from Czechoslovakia in May 1945. The quality here is very nice. I really like that this is actually in colored, unlike, for example, Revell, which doesn't do colored schemes. They also include in RLM colors. There are a total of 4 camouflages, if I'm correct, I think. And they are quite different one from another, which is another bonus in my opinion. So, and here's the stencil data. So let's do a small summary. So what do you think really of the Focus 190 F-8? This is another great Eduard product. The detailing is absolutely amazing. There are rivets, there are small parts, photo etch, paint mask. You get everything from a relatively small price of 30 to 40 euros. If you go to a modeling show and competition and get it for less, that's even better. I got this for about 20 euros, so I got it pretty cheaply. But I don't really recommend this model to new modelers. Why? There are a lot of parts, a lot of paint jobs, and it's really complicated at times. So I think they should start with some models that don't include the engine, for example their BF19s. As for experienced modelers, they are going to enjoy this very much. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this small review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.